Jeffrey's a very, very big part of why I race. He was the friend where the racing family that really got me going to the racetrack, and got me on a crew for a race car. Our friendship, as far as while he was here, wasn't very long. But Jeffrey and I went to the same school. Both really had a. I wouldn't describe myself as a car guy by any stretch of the imagination, but Jeffrey was a car guy. He was setting out to be a mechanic. Was actually doing training through Westbrook Folk to be a mechanic, which is Jeffrey is my crew chief Ray's son. So it's there's a kind of a dual roadway there as far as why I've helped Ray when he races, and why I'm eternally grateful to have Ray's help on my car, as much as he can offer. But Jeffrey's a very close friend of mine, one whose presence in a spiritual sense I still feel to this day. I started really hanging out with Jeffrey outside of school probably in 2003, right after I got my license. And he lived up the street from me at the time. That was when I started hanging out with him outside of school. It was when he had moved into the house that wasn't far from my parents' house, where I was living, and he was a part of pretty much my everyday life up until the day he passed. Once my time was up for my probationary period on my license, where I could only have immediate family with me, I would go to his house, pick him and his sister up, go to school. And we had a lot of the same courses together, a lot of the same classes. We both went to Westbrook Folk, him for mechanic work, and myself to get my CDL. And at the end of the day, give him a ride home. And days that I didn't have to go to work at my part-time job, I would oftentimes spend time at his house until almost nightfall, playing basketball or playing video games and whatnot. So yeah, he was a part of my everyday life, although physically on this level, not for very long. It was 2000. It was two and a half years-ish that I was lucky enough to be around him physically on this side of the earth. When he died in a car crash in 2005 as a passenger, really hit hard. But a very mutual dream that both him and I had was he wanted to drive a race car one day just as badly as I did. Although he probably would have succeeded in that feat probably much sooner than I did. But I think so I try to live his dream out for him, and having his father along as my crew chief or as the driver when I was crewing for him, makes it that much more special, makes it that much more of a sense of accomplishment of being able to do that for him. Jeffrey, who obviously I named my son after him. My son just turned 2, so Jeffrey always had a running joke every time I got a new to me vehicle, being at the time probably 10, 15, almost 20 years old each time, was I'd get a new vehicle and the first time he'd jump in it, I call all time shotgun. And he actually would boot my own sister out of the front seat and ride shotgun in my cars with me. So I've kind of continued that as far as kind of rolled that into trying to live this dream for him the best way I can, is having him all-time shotgun in my race car. And every race car that I have will have his name over the passenger door. His family was heavily involved in racing at the time when I really started hanging out with him outside of school, and that's what got me really to hang out with him. It was the coolest thing in the world. I credit Jeffrey with a lot of what I have now, as far as friends and people in my life. He obviously brought my crew chief and the driver of the car I mostly crewed on whenever he was driving with Ray, with his father. His older brother was the best man at my wedding. I consider Ray Jr. his older brother. Jeffrey was a middle child. I consider Ray Jr. a brother. I consider Jeffrey a brother, and I'm also pretty close with his younger sister Jess. Our families kind of got intertwined as far as being close, although it's not as tight as what we are now. Obviously, with growing up, Ray Jr. having his kids, me having my kids and my family. But that's just the way life goes with friends. But I credit Jeffrey with a lot of what I have in life. A lot of the passion that I have for racing kind of grew a little more after his passing, or a little bit of that time after his passing. Because, like I said, this is a shared mutual dream that I knew he always wanted to do. Whether or not our roles could be reversed, if life had played out a little differently, I'm willing to bet that if he was driving, I would be crewing on his car. Jeffrey was a very, very special individual to me and to my family, and he's been sorely missed for a long time now.